Now then guys, how you doing? Craig here, and thank you for joining me on another rebuild, as this time we try and take Roma to the very top, or at least we try and get them dominating in some kind of competition. Now, you know, if memory's anything to go by, or recent memory's anything to go by, they've had some absolute calamities in the Champions League, haven't they? Let's be honest. They got ruined by Liverpool, they got ruined by Manchester United, so yeah, Roma aren't the force that they used to be. Now, when we look at it, they haven't even finished in the top three since 2017. And the Roma that I knew growing up was packed full of absolute legends. Players like Montella, Totti obviously, Daniel De Rossi, Alder, Cafu, Batistuta if you really want to include him. Although, like for me, when I think of Batistuta, I think of Fiorentina. But yeah, Roma, it's all about the rebuild, so we need to get into that. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. If you're a new viewer, it would mean a lot if you liked and subscribed on the video. You know, it shows me that we're heading in the right direction. And if you're already subbed, thank you very much for your continued support. It means a lot. But without further ado then, let's get into this Roma rebuild. Right, so here we go then guys, 29th of June 2021. Now, as I've done with the rest of the rebuilds, I've simulated forward for a season, so we are going into the 21-22 season as it stands. There will be players going in and out, naturally, you know, contracts expiring and players potentially coming in. I don't think we've got any incoming transfers. So last season, not that it makes any difference at all, Napoli won the league, Juve finished in second. And we ended up finishing in 16th place. Wowzers. Right, so, you know, the job was obviously available anyway, as we've just taken over on the 29th. So looking at the finances first of all, we've got £50 million in the bank. I will take that. 90% of transfer revenue is being made available. We've got 2.3 million wage budget, and we're spending just under that, 100k under that at 2.2 million. We've got 62 million in the overall balance. I'm happy with that. And income wise, last season we brought in 47 million from sponsorship, 59 million from TV revenue, and this season so far we've brought in 41 million. As far as the expenditure goes, player wages was 68 million pounds last season. Right, so that's a big cost that we need to try and sort out. Projections wise, you know, balance wise, at the end of the 23-24 season we'll have 105 million pounds in the balance. Turnover will be 202 million, but expenditure will be 192 million. So my transfer budget may continue to rise. We should have about 75 million pound in the bank. That's irrelevant as we buy and sell players. Obviously, there'll be a massive fluctuation there anyway. When we look at the squad there, we've got a very old squad by the look of it. When we look at the age of the squad, Dzeko's one of our better players, 35-year-old. Federico Fazio, Pedro's in there as well. Mkhitaryan, Pastore, Chris Smalling, Robin Olsen, my goalkeeper, Bruno Perez, David Santon. These are all players that are 30 or above, and the majority of my better players as well. When we look at ability, yeah, we have got Veretout, Zaniolo, Pellegrini, Mancini and Spinazzola, all very good players. But again, Spinazzola's now 28, El Shahari is 28 as well. So we do need to look at that. Obviously, I would imagine if we have a look at the club vision, there's going to be something in there about signing younger players. So there is signed players under the age of 23. Now, in previous rebuilds, I have got a lot of grief about bringing in older players when I've been specifically told not to. My Arsenal rebuild, I got a lot of grief for bringing players in over 30 when I was specifically told I had to sign youngsters. But obviously, just an explanation on that, there is always a little bit of panic that I may lose my job one season into a 5-year rebuild, because this is what this is. 5-year rebuild, as it is in every rebuild that I do. I give myself 5 years to sort it out. Now, it's no good me going, right, we're going to have 5 years and 6 months in I'm out of a job because I invested in a load of 18-year-olds that weren't ready for first team football. So while it's ideal to sign players under the age of 23, it can't work all the time. Obviously, that's the aim. I want to bring in players, but I need to bring in some players that are in the prime as well. So when we look at the club vision, and I've got to develop players using the club's youth system, that's fine. Do not sign players over the age of 29. I'm sure I'll sign players about 35. Sign players under the age of 23, that's fine. Work within the wage budget. And as far as the 5-year plan goes, is to continue to work within the wage budget, which obviously you need to be financially sound. And minimum 4-year contracts, fine. At the end of this coming season then, my minimum aim is to qualify for the Europa League. I'm sure we can do that, because if we don't, it's game over. Turn of facility improvements complete and youth facility improvements complete. They're currently happening and will be completed in the next 3 months. So we're on to a winner with that one. And we just then need to work towards qualifying for the Champions League. And then by the end of what will be my final season is to challenge for the Serie A. So they're on the same trajectory that I want to be on. And I'm happy about that. So, you know, they're not expecting us to get into the Champions League and win the league over the next season or two. So that is good. As long as that can get us into Europe, then that's absolutely massive. And you've got to remember, we've just finished in 16th, did I say? So 16th. So there's definitely no European football coming this season. So if we're after any kind of silverware, then it's obviously going to be domestic silverware. So looking at the dynamics of the squad that I've just taken over, so team cohesion's good, club atmosphere is average, and managerial support is average as well. I expect that, if I'm completely honest. I've got player issues already. I've got 5 players that are concerned. Pedro is unhappy at not being considered part of the club's future. Obviously, I can deal with that. Spinazzola wants to leave to play the Champions League. So does Zaniolo and Mkhitaryan. So there's my issue already. You know, offers are going to come in. Everybody's going to be kicking off, especially players that have got aspirations. They're not going to be happy because I'm going to be rejecting offers unless they're astronomical. But a team in the Champions League will have all the leverage because they'll know that my player's unhappy and wants to leave. And El Shahari wants to start more games. That is fine. As far as top influencers go, I've got Dzeko, Pellegrini and Smalling. Does any player oppose us? No. But no player supports us neither. So I've got 29 players that have no real opinion. So it's all about turning that around quickly. When we look at the team report then and squad depth, I'm probably going to play a 4-2-3-1 with inverted wingers. I think that's the way we'll go. We've got a lot of very good players. We've got Edin Dzeko, he's the top striker at the club, with Justin Kluivert, Mariarol, Pedro, El Shahari there. I would say Dzeko is my only one. For me, that is an out-and-out striker. Out on that left-hand side, we've got Justin Kluivert. Now, hopefully, he's not going anywhere. He's on loan at Leipzig. That's fine. You know, that's the kind of catastrophe that when I take over, he's being sold to PSG or Barcelona. So he will be rejoining us with El Shahari out there. They're my 2 I would look at. Zaniolo out on the other side with Pedro. I'd probably play Pedro behind the striker with Pellegrini and Mkhitaryan. That is the way I'd go there. In the centre of midfield, Veretout the best one. Nzonzi, what is he doing there? He's, you know, I suppose he can hold up the ball with Cristante, Pellegrini in there as well. Out on the left-hand side is an area that it looks like we need to strengthen. Spinazzola is absolutely quality, so he'll play out there, but we haven't really got any depth after that. David Santon, you know, isn't the greatest. 8 caps, former Newcastle player, you know, and I'm a Newcastle fan, and I didn't rate him at all when he was there. In the centre of the defence, we've got Mancini, Smalling, and Cristante. Fazio, he's cracking on now, Fazio. 34-year-old, so he won't be playing. He'll probably move on. But Mancini, very, very good player. He is. You know, his heading and tackling could be slightly better, but he's a very good player. And then Chris Smalling, obviously we know all about. He's got the main attributes that you need: heading, marking, tackling, and strength. Not a lot else going for him now. Technically, he's absolutely awful. And then out on the right-hand side, Spinazzola again, really. And in goal, the goalkeeping situation is awful. Paul Lopez, apparently the best goalkeeper at the club. 2 caps for Spain, but he's not, you know, again, if we're wanting to try and challenge for something, I need to sort out that goalkeeping option as well. So just going back to the squad then, when we look at our best player, Jordan Veretout, I could be pronouncing his name wrong, apologies if that's the case. A very all-rounded player, 28-year-old, 98k per week in wages, and he's 27 million, currently 4-star. Plays in the centre of the midfield. And then Mkhitaryan, you know, most people know all about this guy, but he's 32-year-old, and there lies the problem. So for me, obviously, there's going to be a massive rebuild, as we can obviously include some of these older players in the squad, but yeah, I need to find a balance here. But like I say, tactically, we're probably going to end up playing that way. With a Gegenpress, maybe, or a tiki-taka. I'm not quite sure the way we'll go yet. But yeah, it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. Playing with that one striker, which is against my own philosophy. I like 2 players up front. We may revert to that at some point. You know, we may end up being a 4-2-4. I'm not quite sure. But realistically at the minute, yeah, we're going to end up playing the 4-2-3-1. So what will happen now then, guys, is I will simulate forward to the start of the first season, and we'll talk through the ins and outs. Right then, guys, so time to get my excuses in early. This has been the hardest transfer window. It really has. We're just finishing in 16th place last season. Obviously, everybody wants to leave. And trying to get players in when we haven't even got European football has been an absolute shambles. And then to rub salt into wound, like all of my scouts, I think everybody is incredible. So let's just have a quick look at my head scout. Simone Lasciava. Now he's got glasses on. He might as well be Stevie Wonder, because literally every single player that I scout at the minute is the best player for the club, and it's making things really difficult. I've brought some more scouts in. I've let some of my staff go, but yeah, literally when I can go to scouting now, you know, we can keep scouting. Even here, like this player, it's not great. He's not a 4.5-star player. And we just keep going through. This guy's apparently going to be a 5-star player. Yeah, and like that, Jack Stacey, 25-year-old, 8.5 million potentially. Potentially a 4-star player. He's shocking. Absolutely shocking. And yeah, so that's what I'm up with at the minute. So there's my excuses in early anyway. So before I talk about the players that I've brought in, we've got £30 million in the transfer budget, 2.3 million wage budget now, and we're 100k under that. We've got £27 million still in the bank, so we're not in a bad place. We've made a loss of £18 million so far for this season. So the first player to leave then was Midlothian. Now he has left and gone to Verona for 7.25 million. We bought him for 2.7. He was on loan to them last season anyway, played 34 games for them. But yes, he has gone. Defender centre wasn't great. You know, the main stats, the heading, mark and tackling. Yeah, he's strong enough, but the rest of it weren't quite there. Alessandro Florenzi has gone. Now, he's a quality player. This has got nothing to do with me. This was already agreed prior to me taking over. So he went out on loan to PSG last season and we sold him for 8.25 million. We just give him away. You know, he's easily a £20 million player. Yes, he's cracking on a bit at 30. But for the position and where he is, you know, he's actually playing games already. He's played 3 times. So he's gone there to be a starter. And we've given him away. Steven Nzonzi, so a decent player, isn't really going to fit into the way that I play. We have let him go. We give him away again for 5.5 million. Played 37 games last season now on loan at Rennes. He was never going to fit into the way I play. You know, he's more of a defensive anchor. Decent stats for that position, but like I say, just didn't fit. Robin Olsen has gone to Everton, so he was out on loan then and we sold him for 3.8 million. Again, I said just before we skipped forward to the start of the season that the goalkeeping position was an issue, so Robin Olsen has gone. Paul Lopez, the other first team goalkeeper, has also left, so we let him go to West Ham for 7.5 million. Played last season, 21 starts, 34 goals conceded. So he didn't have a great season, so he's gone. And the last player to leave is David Santon. He has gone basically for 625k. I just needed to get this player off the books. Am I light in the wide areas? Defensively, yes. But I needed to get his wages off and get him out of there, so he left for basically nothing. The first player that we've brought in then is Andrea Bellotti, quality player. The most un-Italian looking player though that I've ever seen. That's the kind of guy that you'd meet down at the pub. He'd definitely be down at the Dog and Duck supping a bitter, wouldn't he? Let's be honest. He's not the most Italian player at all. You know, he's just going to sit up front by himself. 13.75 million, scored 9 goals last season for Torino. He is a goal scorer, you know, finishing's really good, heading as well. He could be the target man if he wanted, but we are only playing the one. If we did just want to lump the ball up to him, I think he's a good option up there as well. Very, very good player. I reckon he'll get 20 goals for us this season. Next player in then is Altay Bayındır. Now he's coming as my goalkeeper, 23-year-old Turkish, under 21 international. Now we paid more money than I would have liked at £17 million, but I wanted a goalkeeper in that was going to be with us for the majority of the save, if not all of it. So yeah, Altay is going to be the number 1. Potential ability 4-star, current ability 3-star. He's not a million miles away. And he's 6'6" as well. Aerial reach 17, one-on-ones 18, reflexes 17. Hopefully develops like I think he will, and he'll be the number 1, like I say, for the entirety of this save. And then the last player in is Gillian Biancone. Now, he is currently 2-star, potential ability 4.5-star. This is one that I've got to trust the scouts. Now, he looks like a well-rounded player. He's only 21-year-old. We bought him for £4 million after he was out on loan. Cercle Bruges last year, 29 games, 5 goals, 5 assists. We've brought him in to play out on that defensive right-hand side. I'm not really stacked with talent out there, I'm going to be completely honest. So hopefully he'll get some games this season. He's already valued 2.2 million. He's an exciting young prospect that isn't far from the first team. So yeah, decent squad option. When we look at the squad depth, the team actually isn't that bad. We're still struggling at the back. I didn't even add depth to the left and right positions in the end. Obviously Biancone joining. But Calafiori looks like a decent player, 19-year-old, potential ability 5-star. So I thought if him and Spinazzola just rotate, you know, Spinazzola gets out injured. I've got a decent deputy there. And same on the other side. So Karsdorp, again, he's not the greatest. He's had a decent pre-season in fairness. 4 starts, 1 goal, 3 assists down there. He's not been bad at all. So we're going to give him an opportunity. He's fully capped with Holland anyway. And then I say Biancone, he can be the deputy. And then in goal, Altay's there. If he gets injured, we are in trouble. But I'm quite happy with the attacking intent of the team. We are going to play an attacking tactic. Like I say, we're going to play that 4-2-3-1. I've changed it to the tick-attacker now, not the Gegenpress, and that's the way we're going to play. I think we've got a very good team there, I'll be completely honest. Obviously, the starting 11 is very good. We've got some decent depth options as well. I've just got a lot of players that are very unhappy. When we look at the dynamics of the squad, you know, I've got a lot of unhappy players that are shouting out in public as well. I've got Pedro that I didn't even include in the training camp, as I wanted to try out some other players. I know what I'm going to get out of Pedro, but he was not happy about it. Unhappy at not being considered part of the club's future plans. And then, like I say, Zaniolo, Mkhitaryan, Villa, Spinazzola all want to leave to play the Champions League. Not happening at the minute. I've got no players that oppose us out. Unbelievably, with the uprising that I've got, nobody opposes. I've now got 9 players and supporters. Fortunately, all of my team leaders supporters. So there's 19 guys that don't, that I've just still got to win over. As far as the league goes, when we look at the season preview, we're expected to finish in 7th place. You know, we need to get into the top 6 really for any kind of European competitions next season. We've got nobody in the Media Dream 11. That does not surprise us. And when we look at the schedule for the start of the season, we start with games against Udinese, Fiorentina, Napoli, Sampdoria and Lazio. Napoli may be a struggle, but going forward I think we should be getting 10 points out of the first 15 available. So what we're going to do now is we're going to simulate forward till the end of the first season. Hopefully, first of all, I'm still in a job, because there's always a risk when you don't heavily invest. I haven't been able to, like I said, I haven't been able to get the kind of quality players that I wanted in because we're not in any European competitions. So yeah, we're going to simulate forward, and hopefully I'll still have a job by the end of the season. Right then guys, so we're back at the end of season 1, and the first thing to celebrate is that we're still in a job. I haven't been sacked, and looking at the league table there, we finished 5th, so we're going to have European football next season. Form there I can see straight away was absolutely shocking at the back end of the season. But we finished in 5th place. We finished 7 points behind Juve. Juve had a shocker there in 4th. Milan winning the league, and 1 point clear of Sassuolo. So yeah, not a bad season I'd say there to finish 5th in our first attempt, especially with a new tactic. When we look at it, we played 38 games, we won 19, drew 10, lost 9. Scored 57, conceded 36, which isn't that bad in fairness. Obviously the scoring seems to be the problem. 57 goals, 67 points on the board, a goal difference of plus 21. Monza, Sampdoria and Torino all going down. Monza got absolutely battered all season, finished with 12 points. When we look at the past positions, yeah, we basically cruised along from match day 29 and finished in 5th place. At one point we were up until 3rd, but early doors in the season, you know, I'm not overly worried about that. But yeah, you know, we were going to be in the European places basically from game day 15. So I'm very, very happy with that. Competitions wise then, like I say, 5th in the league. We were knocked out in the Italian Cup by AC Milan in the quarter-final. And then we're playing a friendly cup semi-final against Dynamo this time round. So 2 obviously domestic competitions we could have been in. We had a very good performance in the league. You know, and knocked out by AC Milan, the league title winners, isn't the end of the world neither. Finances wise then, we've got £29 million in the bank. Wage budget obviously is still the same at £2.3 million. And our overall balance, we're now in the red. So we're hemorrhaging money at minus £33 million. Obviously no European football will have hurt us this season. So we need to get that sorted out. We shouldn't have too much trouble with the players. Yes, they wanted Champions League. We weren't far away. A good performance in the Europa League this season, I think, and that'll settle the ship. And when we're talking about settling the ship, team cohesion is very good, club atmosphere is average, and managerial support is good. I've still got players that are unhappy. Pedro is absolutely raging. We'll probably let him go in the summer. Zeko wants to go to start more games. El Shahari and Villa want better playing time. Again, you know, I've seen the team this season and I'll have some more players that want to leave. When we look at the players and supporters, I've got 12 players and supporters. I've got no players that oppose us. But bizarrely, I've got 14 players that still have no real opinion of us, which isn't ideal to say that we've had a full season under the belt. And then when we look at individual stats, Belotti was a top goal scorer for us with 19 goals, so the investment was worth it. With the highest average rating being Rick Karsdorp with a 7.25. Most assists was under with 10. Best pass completion was Kumbulla with 97%. And most player of the match awards was Karsdorp with 6. Team stats wise then, goals scored 57, which was the 6th best. Goals conceded 36, which was the 5th best. That's not bad for our first season. Only to concede 36 goals, that's less than a goal a game. Yellow cards we had 10, which is the 10th worst. We had 2 red cards, shocking, so very physical. So not a bad first season at all. You know, I am happy with how that went. The finances wise obviously does worry us. And as far as the development centre, we've got a couple of players that can make their way into the first team. Alessio Riccardi could potentially drop up now. He's an exciting young prospect who isn't far from first team level. But bar that, you know, we're definitely going to need to strengthen. Squad-wise, obviously, we have got a lot of players that are now starting to lose their ability. Pedro, Pastore, Fazzato, Coric is another player that potentially could move on because he's a younger player as well, 25-year-old. Fazzato, 24. Any player that's under 3-star now will be leaving, guaranteed in the summer anyway, as we need to try and balance the books. We've got a lot of money on wages. Jacko's getting paid 245k. Pastore is another player that could leave us at 145k. Mkhitaryan, 98k as well. So, you know, and they're 36, 32, 33 as far as ages go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to skip forward to the start of Season 2. Hopefully I've balanced the books a little bit better and we've lowered the average age of the team. Right then guys, so the start of Season 2 and transfers has been difficult. It's been hard again. We're financially in a bit of trouble now as we're trying to pull our way out of it. I've had to sell some of my players. I had an astronomical £100 million offer for Justin Kluivert, which I rejected. In the grand scheme of things, I should maybe have accepted considering the financial trouble we were in. However, I think he's our best player. Him and Zaniolo, for me, if we really want to progress, I need to keep both of those guys. So we'll have a look at the finances first. As it stands, we've got £22 million in the bank. We're well now under the wage budget. 2.3 million is what we're allowed. We're spending 1.7. And in the overall balance, we've got £35 million. So I'm trying my best to recover from this financial crisis that we're currently having. When we look at the club vision, repairing the club's financial damage has been passed as far as the board are concerned. Obviously there's stuff that they're not overly happy about. They're disappointed I haven't signed any under 23 players. They're pleased that I've signed players under the age of 20 for the future. But we're doing little bits to try and progress the club and move them on. So transfer wise then, we've sold players for a total of 40.5 million and we've brought in players for 35.5. Now some of those transfers coming in were already pre-agreed, but we'll go through the players that we're leaving. So Ante Coric has left for 2.5 million. Now we spent 5.25 million from Dynamo. He played 2 games for us last season. He didn't really feature. He's not the greatest player. Yes, he's young at 25 and he's fully capped by Croatia, but we moved him on. We then let El Shahari go. Now this one, he didn't feature too much for us last season. He's a good player attributes wise, he really is. But like I say, Justin Kluivert plays out on that side. £3.9 million after we brought him to the club for £10.5 million. He only played 3 games last season. So I thought with that in mind, let him go. Chris Smalling, he went off to Burnley. He was actually on loan last season. He went out on loan to West Ham. 300k he went for. But Burnley come in with a £3 million offer and I was happy to let him go. And the last player to leave, and probably one of our standout performers last season, was Under. Now, current ability 3.5 star, potential ability 3.5 star as well. Very, very good player, but a £30 million offer coming from Valencia. Yes, 28 games for his last season, 6 goals, 10 assists. But Zaniolo will drop out onto that right-hand side now. So Under is gone, £30 million off to Valencia. Coming in then was Marash Kumbula. Now, he was already with us. He's been with us for the last couple of seasons, but there was a pre-agreed deal that he was going to join us for £20 million. Played 17 games for us last season. He's a very good player. He really is. Stats in the right areas. Technically, he's a bit like Chris Smalling. You know, he has the main attributes of heading, mark and tackling, but not a lot else going on there. Now, a bit of an underwhelming signing for everyone, I'm sure, is Enrico Del Prato. Now, he's an emergency backup player that can play across the back. That's all I was after. I was just for somebody that could really just fill a gap should we have one. We spent £500,000 on him, so I'm very happy with it. He played in the Serie A last season, 31 games for Spal, 6.74. I'd be surprised if he gets over 5 games for us, but he is there should we need him. Then we got a strong backup for Alte with Alban Lafon coming in as number 2 now. Like I say, he's going to be the deputy. Potential ability is 3.5 star. He's valued at 4.4 million. We got him for 5.5 million. Played for Fiorentina, 36 games last season in Serie A. So he was actually their first choice keeper. And he's joining us as the deputy. 23, like I say. 5 under 21 caps for France. And I'm not overly worried now if Alte gets injured. We've got Lafont who can fill in. And then lastly, Christian Romero joined us. So I just want to strengthen our centre-back options, especially with Smalling going. Like I say, he didn't feature for us last season. But Romero coming in, 9.25 million part exchange. They took like a 16-year-old goalkeeper from us. But I don't really rate him. By the time this rebuild is over, the goalkeeper will be like 20, so it doesn't really matter. So Christian Romero, 9.25 million with add-ons. It comes to around about £11 million. Heading, mark and tackling, very good. Strength, good. Again, technically, he's not great up here. I'm not expecting him to have 20-odd finishing anyway. But yeah, 24-year-old. He will probably stay with us for the entirety of the rebuild now. So with that then, the dynamics, team cohesion's very good, club atmosphere very good, and managerial support is very good. I've got 3 players that are unhappy or concerned. Justin Kluivert is unhappy that he was priced out of the PSG move. Mkhitaryan wants to leave, and I'm trying to get him off the books anyway, and Villa wants to move on for more playing time. Now, I do like the look of this guy, and I think he could be decent, so he's going to stay with us unless a very good offer comes in. Top influencers, I've got 10 players that support us, 14 players that don't, and no players that oppose us, so we're on to a winner there. Squad depth wise, we're still strong. Yeah, could I do with a couple more strikers? Absolutely. But I'm only playing 1 attacker, so Kluivert and Belotti will be the 2 main men. Up front, should I need them. Belotti obviously is the number 9 and he'll be up there by himself. I've got Kluivert still who can play out on both sides. In the middle of the park, I'm happy. At the back, I am happy. Karsdorp isn't the greatest, however, he was a standout last season. And Spinazzola out on the other side, and the goalkeeping options are fantastic. When we look at the schedule, we start off with games against Atalanta, Fiorentina, Verona, Napoli and Lazio. Again, I'll be expecting at least 10 points out of a possible 15 there. And as far as the season preview goes then, we've got Kluivert now in the Media Dream 11, playing out on that left-hand side, so we've finally got somebody in there, and we're expected to finish 6th, so I will take that. As far as the squad overall, wages-wise, Pastore, 145k a week. He's the only player over 100k now, and I'm happy with that. And as far as value to players goes, Pellegrini, 46 million. Spinazzola, 37.5. We have got some players that will be leaving us next season. Not too many. Pastore and Bianda. Bianda, you know, I'm looking at trying to move him on anyway. So we've got Spinazzola, Cristante, Mancini, Zaniolo, players with us for another couple of seasons. Should things start to go wrong, at least I've got them pinned down. So what we're going to do now then, guys, we're going to simulate forward for another 12 months to the end of Season 2. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got into the Champions League, or we've given it a really good go in the Europa League. Right then, guys, so we're back and we've only gone and won the bloody league at the end of Season 2. So I don't know, against all odds, I just quickly want to show you the squad. That is my squad. That is my team depth. Look at the state of it. Look at the state of it. I can only name 8 available substitutes and we've managed to win the league with it. So, yeah, let's have a look at this league. Let's have a look at the league as we finished in top spot. 38 games played, 26 wins, 9 draws, 3 losses all season with a goal difference of plus 49. Belotti with 25 goals this season in the league. Veretout with 7 Player of the Match awards. Alte with 21 clean sheets this season. That is absolutely massive. Up there with Chesney and Donnarumma. And we've only gone and won the league with a 1-0 victory over Empoli on the last game of the season. When we look at the past positions, we've done it on the last game of the season as well. Who was it? Juve there with us. Juve have absolutely bottled it. They drew 1-1 with Fiorentina. And we end up winning on the last game. We've been in the top 2 all season, so in all fairness, we deserved that. Won it on the last game of the season. Juve bottled it. Just have a quick look at finances, see what that's done. So, we've ended the season £75 million in the black. That's good because last season we were minus 33 million. Transfer budget, we've got 45 million in the bank, and we're obviously well under the wage budget. Absolute scenes, I cannot believe it. 2 seasons in, we've won the league. Now, I'm sure there'll be some of you out there that'll be like, that was easy. That was far too easy. I don't know why he didn't win it in the first season. For me, I genuinely thought with our team this season, we were going to struggle. I thought top 4 would have been a push. But when we look at the schedule, we had a really good start to the season. Obviously, there's a 2-1 loss to Napoli in there. Couple of draws. We're drawing to Frosinone. Not ideal. And Cagliari as well. But form looks good throughout. Yeah, we lost 2-0 to Real Madrid in a friendly. That was one of a few defeats. 1-0 in the quarterfinal of the Italian Cup to Napoli. Lots of draws in February. You know, that's hurt us there. There's 5-0 victory over Verona in there, though. And as we work our way on, we lost 4-2 to Man United in the final of the Europa League as well. Got absolutely battered there. Started off with an own goal from Alte. We were actually 4-0 down. Wowzer. So let's just refresh ourselves with the competitions then. So like I say, runner-up in the Europa League. Knocked out in the quarter-final against Napoli in the Italian Cup. What's that done for the squad dynamics though? I've only got 1 player that wants to leave, and that's Romero, who we just brought in at the start of the season. Team cohesion is very good. Club atmosphere is very good. And managerial support is very good as well. We've got 4 players that have no real opinion of us, 15 players that support us. So that league win has certainly helped us out. Looking at the player stats, and as you can see there, Belotti with 40 goals this season across all competitions. Highest average rating was Veretout with 7.6. He also had the most assists with 14. Best pass completion was Kumbulla with 98. And team stats wise, we scored 76 goals, which is the second best. We only conceded 27 goals all season, which is the third best. 75 yellow cards, 8th best, and 2 red cards. You know, that's down from 3 red cards in the previous season. So there you go, League Champions at the end of the second season. Now we're going for the Champions League. Obviously retaining the league title as well. I don't want it to be a one-off. We've done extremely well. You know, we finished 11 points clear of third place Milan, which is absolutely mental. So there we go then, guys. So yeah, Season 2 out the way. On to Season 3. Now we push on for the Champions League. So you'll join me at the start of Season 3. Hopefully, you know, we'll have definitely had to add some depth to the squad. Like I say, when we look at this squad here, shocking. So yeah, we'll add some depth and we'll talk through it before the season starts. Right then, guys, so we're back on the 26th of August for Season 3. Now, we have added some good additions to the squad this time around. We still haven't got really the depth that I would have liked, but we are in a much better position. Financially, we're not too bad neither, with £39 million in the bank, 120 million in the overall balance. We're just under the wage budget. We're still doing all right there. We have increased some of the players' wages to try and keep them on with us. Obviously, we're playing in the Champions League now, and that was what a lot of them wanted. So, yeah, I've had to tie them down on some lengthy contracts, but with that comes big money. Transfer history-wise, then we've had 46.5 million go out, 45.5 million go in. With Carlos Perez, he has left us and gone to Dynamo Kiev. So the 25-year-old didn't really do anything for us. Yes, he had 29 games for us last season, 4 goals, 3 assists, but a 6.75 rating. And he basically sat out on that right-hand side. They'd been vacated by Under when he left. But yes, he has gone for £12 million to Dynamo Kiev. The big money move then is Amadou Diawara. He has gone to AC Milan. Now, we have sold him to a rival for 34.5 million. I've brought players in who can play in that position. Didn't have the bad season for us last season. 25 games, 2 assists, 1 player to match performance. You know, solid in the middle. He is a ball winner. He does the business for you. He's also got very good passing. But yeah, we sold him on. Good money on him. But before we move on to Nicolas Tagliafico, who we've brought in, Zeko and Pastore have both retired and left the club. So they have gone now. We've got their wages out of there and we're in a much better place for it. But we have brought in Tagliafico. He's 30-year-old. He goes against the philosophy of what we want. However, I want it to strengthen out on that side. We've got Spinazzola out there as well. Spinazzola can realistically play on both sides, left and right. But yeah, we got him on a free transfer, so it was a no-brainer. Last season he played for Ajax, where he has been for like the last 6 seasons. 28 games, 7.35 rating. So we brought him in. We'll get a couple of seasons out and we'll have him to the end of the rebuild, I would imagine. But a big free signing here, Thomas Lemar. Can play basically across the midfield, across the attacker midfield as well. I'm either going to play him behind the striker or out on that left-hand side, maybe move Kluivert into the middle. But yeah, as it stands, this is who we've brought in. 27-year-old, still got plenty of years in him, now entering his prime. Corner 16, dribbling 16, first touch 16. You know, all the attributes that you'd really want. Passing, technique, flair, agility. He's there. Current ability 4-star, potential ability 4-star. So he's playing to his full potential. His media description is an elite winger. And like I say, free transfer. He was out on loan at Monaco last season. 32 appearances, 8 goals, 4 assists, 6 player of the match performances with a 7.54 rating. So I'm excited about this guy. Thomas Lemar, everyone. Going to get some goals from this season. Then we brought in Locatelli, so we tried to keep some of the Italian nationality going on in the squad. So he's come in, 25-year-old, 32 million, that's what he's valued at. Potential ability 4-star, current ability 3-star. Now he's an elite midfielder, and like I say, 25-year-old, he's got a lot more in him. First touch, passing, technique, all 16. He's a very well-rounded player anyway, and we bought him for 22.5 million. Now, he was at Sassuolo last season, 36 games, 2 goals, 4 assists. Not the greatest rating. He doesn't really set the world alight. But yeah, Manuel Locatelli in the midfield. And then we brought in Berardi from Sassuolo as well. Now, I got a bit of grief for this one. The board weren't happy with the amount I paid. The fans weren't overly keen on him. When you look at his current ability, his potential ability, he isn't great. But he's going to play out on the right-hand side. Can also play up front, should we need him to. 29-year-old, 17 caps, 3 goals. Yes, he's not a youth. But this season's all about just stabilising. Now, you know, we've won the league. We're going into the Champions League. I haven't been able to add as much depth as I possibly could have done. But yeah, Domenico Berardi's there. And he cost us 22 million, so fairly similar to Locatelli. He played 30 games last season, 10 goals, 6 assists, 4 player of the match performances, and 14 goals the season before that. So he has got goals in him. It just doesn't translate into his average rating. With those players coming in then, we have got to look at the dynamics of the squad. Team cohesion is good, club atmosphere is good, and managerial support's very good. Asking to leave is Pellegrini, wants a new contract that reflects his ability. I've already offered that. And Christian Romero wants to start more games. That's the same. As top influencers go then, I've now got 14 players to support us. 7 players have no real opinion of us. And like I say, from the squad, wages-wise, Vertu's the highest earner at 150k per week. Spinazzola on 140 as well, as I was looking to keep those 2 players with us. Squad depth-wise, you know, we are a bit lighter all around, but the star ratings are definitely better. We're starting to feel a bit stronger now. Kluivert's apparently the best striker at the club. Belotti, for me, is still number 9. Kluivert and Lamar, like I say, they can switch. We've got Lamar and Pellegrini and Zaniolo who can play behind the strikes as well. In fairness, that 3 behind the striker can rotate should it need to. In the centre of the midfield, we've got Lamar, Pellegrini, Vertu, Cristante, Zaniolo again. You know, we've also got Locatelli who can play in there as well. Out on that left-hand side, we've got Tagliafico, Spinazzola, Calafiori. On the other side, we've got Karsdorp, Spinazzola, Biancone. Del Prato has gone out on loan. Like I say, he was always going to be a squad player anyway. In the centre of mid-defence, we've got Mancini, Ibanez, Cambulla, Ramiro, Cristante, who are all very good players. And then Alte and Lafont in goal. So I think we're set up. So when we're looking at the schedule then, you know, we start off with games against Juve, Inter, Napoli, Monza and Cagliari. So big games there as we take on Juve and Inter in the first 2 games of the season. So it'd be nice to get a good start there. Season preview wise then, we've now moved up to 4th. That's the expectation. You know, we've been expected for a 6th place finish, and we've got 2 players now in the Media Dream 11. So we've got Thomas Lamar and Kluivert. So it's looking good for me. I'm happy with how we've done that. I'm happy with the business that we've made. Yes, we haven't brought in the kids, like I say, that they were wanting, they were devastated that I haven't brought in under 23s. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's a rebuild, and while rebuilding would be ideal, bringing in all these wonder kids, by the time I've left in that 5-year challenge, the majority of the wonder kids are going to be like 2021. I want players that are going to do the business for me now. So that's what we've done. So we'll see if those players do the business as we simulate forward to the end of Season 3, hopefully retaining the league title and really giving a good account of ourselves in the Champions League. Right then guys, so it's the end of Season 3 and we're now past the halfway point of the save. So, we've ended up finishing 3rd in the league with 77 points. 3 points clear of Inter, but we're 13 points behind Milan. So we didn't get to retain the title. When we look at it here, we won 22 games, drew 11, drew far too many games, lost 5, scored 68, conceded 32, which isn't bad at all, with a plus 36 goal difference, 77 points on the board, like I say. When we look at the past positions, yeah, we didn't have a great start to the season, in fairness. We sat around 5th place for the majority of it, and then towards the back end of the season, we've moved ourselves up there. Milan having a very good season, sat in 2nd and 1st for the majority of it as well, quite similar to how we were last season. Finances wise, then we've got £142 million in the bank. And the reason we've got that is because Ibanez moved to Chelsea mid-season. So he moved in January and he went for £149 million. Absolutely crazy money. Yes, he's an elite centre-back. It's not £149 million though, let's be honest. That is crazy money. He played 15 games for us up until January and then moved on. Big stuff there, as we've got £246 million in the overall balance. Funds are banging now, let's be honest. Absolutely cracking. We've got nothing to worry about there. We're financially secure. Even if I go out and spend that £142 million in this summer transfer window, we're still going to have over £100 million left in the kitty anyway. So as the season ends then, team cohesion is very good, club atmosphere very good, and managerial support is very good. I have got players that want to go. Spinazzola wants to leave to play more games. Cristante wants more games as well. Concerned. Calafiori's concerned. He wants more playing time. He wants a challenge for a place. I think that's fair enough. You know, he is a decent player. He's a very all-rounded player for 22 as well. So we could see him featuring more this season. Romero wants to leave for more playing time. It surprises me that he hasn't had more games with Ibanez going. He only played 3 games last season. And Berardi playing in a weak role. So he's publicly unhappy as well. Top influencers wise then, I've now got 3 players that have no real opinion of us, but 16 players fully support us. But Berardi opposes us. Now, is it likely that I'm going to get my money back? He's valued at 19.75 million. Like I said, I spent £22 million on him. He played 26 games. You know, so he was a regular starter within the team. If I can get my money back, I will try. So looking at our competition performance then, like I say, we finished 3rd in the league. We were knocked out of the Champions League in the knockout round by Borussia Dortmund. We won the Italian Cup, so we've won some domestic silverware then. We won the Italian Super Cup as well. So we got a domestic cup double. I will take that. That's not bad, considering we finished third in the league. We got out of the group stages in the Champions League, which that should be the bare minimum anyway, but we went out to Borussia Dortmund there. And when we look at the player stats for the season, Ballistix was a top goal scorer again with 32 goals. Karsdorp is an absolute king, isn't he? Let's be honest, Karsdorp. He's been top performer season after season with a 7.23 rate. And most assists is Karsdorp with 12, and Zaniolo, that they share that one. And Kambulla has the best pass completion with 97%. Lamar with his first season with us got 7 player of the match performances, happy with that. And team stats, we scored 68 goals, which was the third best. 32 goals conceded again, not bad at all. That's less than a goal a game in the league, and we were third best for that. Yellow cards, 83, we love a yellow, but only 1 red card this season, which was the 6th best. So looking at the squad then, obviously we're going to need to improve. We have got some old players, you know, Mkhitaryan is about to retire. Tagliafico we've brought in for 2, and Spinazzola, all plus 30. Ballistix now also entering the back end of his career, so we'll have to make some change. We'll have to bring in some youth, and really now we want to leave some quality players coming through. You know, we might take on quite a few under 23 players now and try and build up that squad for the future, but I still want to bring in some players that are ready to go straight away. So that's what we're going to do. We're now going to move forward to the first game of the 4th season in charge, and we'll talk through the transfers that I've brought in the summer. Right then guys, so we're back for the start of what is now season 4. And we've done some decent business, you know. Have I really been ecstatic about any of our business so far through this save? Last season weren't too bad. This season, we've tried to strengthen in some of the areas. We've definitely added a bit more youth to the squad, as we've got £36 million in the transfer budget. And we're spending 300k under the wage budget, so that's decent. Overall balance is £211 million. Yes, we have put a bit of a dent in it, but overall we're still in a very strong financial position. So just one out then as Christian Romero goes to one of our most fierce rivals, and that is Napoli. We got good money for him though. You know, he didn't play too much for us last season, only played 4 games. We bought him for 9.25 million, and we sold him on for £20 million. And when he did play, it wasn't great. Coming in then, we bought in Karim Adeyemi as a striker. He's currently valued now at 42.5 million, got a continental reputation, and his potential ability is 4-star. We got him on a free transfer, and he was at RB Salzburg last season, where he played 8 times and scored 5 goals. So decent. At 22, you know, he's not exactly setting the world. Like, technically he's not great. Physical's very good. He's got plenty of pace and acceleration. He's going to be quick, as we tried to play him on the last man. I can't see him starting too many games this season. You know, we're going to try and phase some of these players in. But yeah, a decent addition. The big money signing then in the summer was to try and spend some of that Ibanez money. And Wesley Fofana joins us. Now, current ability is 3.5-star, potential ability 4-star. He's a good all-round player. Marking and tackling could still improve. He's not the strongest. Worldwide reputation though. He's an elite centre-back. 23-year-old as well. You know, we spent £60 million up front with 10 million add-ons, so £70 million potentially the deal. 24 games last season, only 1 goal and 1 player of the match performance with a 6.89 rating. Next in was Samuel Ricky, so he's going to play in the centre of the midfield. Very all-rounded player again, got good vision, technique, stamina. His passing's decent as well. 23-year-old Italian, that's a big thing. Valued at 12.75 million now. Current ability 3-star, potential ability 4-star. And we bought it for 14.5 million after Inter spent nearly 19 million on him last season. He played 17 times for Inter as well. You know, Inter are a very good side, so he got into their squad. But we've brought him in, you know, more competition and depth and youth for the midfield. Another youngster in then is the Spaniard AORUS, so he can play out on that left-hand side and in the centre of the park. Decent player again, got very good mentals, decision making and flair, both 16, first touch 16, passing, technique also very high. Current ability 2.5-star, potential ability 3.5-star. Attacker midfielder, like I say, we bought him for £8 million. This one was really done by the board. They like the look of him, they went out, they sorted it all out. He hasn't played again for Atletico Madrid last season. He did play in the B team the season before where he got 18 assists. And then lastly then, this guy looks incredible, John Carricabaru. Dribbling, finishing, first touch, heading, you know, the business. 6 foot tall, 21-year-old, current ability 3-star, potential ability 4-star. He's a level-headed striker who scored 13 times for Villarreal last season. We bought him for 31.5 million. That is big money. But I do need a replacement for Ballistix, obviously, over the next coming years. So, yeah, John Carricabaru looks like a very good player. Someone I've never even heard of. He's a genuine player. I think he was at Real Sociedad, or he's at Real Sociedad at the moment. But he'll play up front. He's got pace and acceleration. Strength, you know, he'll work on all that stuff anyway, but determination and composure, I would expect some goals from him this season. And as we look at the dynamics of the squad, we've got 5 players that want to leave and are unhappy. Team cohesion's good, club atmosphere is average, and managerial support is very good. Top influencers then, I've got 17 players as supporters, 7 players that have no real opinion, and no one opposes us. And squad depth wise, we're looking stronger for depth. I still haven't got a real world-class striker. Obviously, I didn't really invest in that this time round. Kluivert and Belotti, the main men. Karikaburu and Adeyemi obviously can play up there as well. We've got Kluivert, Zaniolo, Lamar out on that side. Zaniolo, Lamar, Kluivert on the other side. And then in the middle, we've obviously got Pellegrini, Zaniolo, Lamar, Kluivert, Locatelli, the lot. We've got Berardi in there as well, should we need him. Midfield, I think we're fine with Pellegrini, Locatelli, Veretout. That's I'm happy with that. Tagliafico on the left-hand side, and Karsdorp still does bits for us on the right-hand side. Obviously, we've got Spinazzola as well. In the centre of defence, we've got Fofana, Kambulla and Mancini. I'm happy with that. We've got with Cristante who can play there as well. And Altain Lafont in goal. We are in a good shape. Tactics-wise then, we are still going with the positive 4-2-3-1. We're playing a tick-attacker still. With Altain goal, Tagliafico, Kambulla, Mancini and Karsdorp as me for, you know, realistically for me, Fofana would be in there somewhere, you know, deciding what side, obviously the change. But then we've got Locatelli and Veretout in the middle with Kluivert, Pellegrini and Zaniolo and Belotti up front. What a strong squad that is. As far as the season preview goes then, we're expected a 4th place finish, so a top 4 finish is realistic for me. I like the way that is, but we don't have any players now in the Media Dream 11. Players have fallen out of there. Kluivert not making it in this time, all of them are, but Milan are the favourites again. And then finally looking at the schedule for our start of the season, we've not had a very good pre-season at all. Let's be honest, we went off to America and didn't get any wins, so not ideal. So we start off with games against Bologna, Cagliari, Sassuolo, Spal and Udinese, all winnable games. For me, a minimum of 12 points required there. We've got Juve and Milan as a group together. That's not ideal. And how do we end the season? We end the season with Lazio, Inter and Napoli in our last 5 games. So what we're going to do is we're going to simulate forward again for the 4th season. Really push on in Europe, I'm hoping. You know, we had a decent season last season. And can we get that league title back this time round? Right then guys, so we're back at the end of season 4, and as you can see there, top of the league, 7 points clear of Milan. Juve in 3rd place. Juve 2 defeats in the final 5 games, not great there. As we played 38 games, won 27, drew 7, lost 4 games, not bad going at all there. Scored 78, conceded 28. I'll take 28 goals conceded all season, plus 50 goal difference. Only 2 goals behind Juve for having the best goal difference. 88 points on the board, like I say. 7 points clear of Milan, 8 clear of Juve. Very handy. Let's have a look at the past positions and see how we ended up. So yeah, it was only towards the back end of the season, from match day 32, that we got ourselves into top spot. Bit of a mixed start, I'll be honest. We were down as low as 6 at one stage. Competition-wise, and obviously we won the Serie A. We were then knocked out in the Europa League by Manchester United in the quarter-final, but we did win the 2 domestic cups again, as we won the Italian Cup and we won the Italian Super Cup as well. So a treble this season. Finances-wise then, we've got 71 million in the bank. We've got 2.7 million wage budget. We're currently spending 2.3. We've got 198 million in the overall balance. So that's not a bad place to be at the end of the season. Dynamics-wise then, team cohesion very good, club atmosphere is very good, and managerial support's very good as well. We've got quite a few players that are unhappy, and the majority of them want better contracts, so we'll sort that out in the summer. AORUS, who we brought in, also wants to leave. Very handy. Played a season with us. As far as the support goes, we've got 18 players as supporters and 6 players that have no real opinion, but obviously when we sort out contracts, that should help me out. And when we look at the player stats, Karikaburu ended up being the top scorer with 25 goals. 16 in the league as well. 25 goals, not bad in 39 starts. When we have a look at him, that's more goals than he scored in the previous season for Villarreal. So he's a top goal scorer with Kumbulla, got the average ice rating of a 7.28. Lamar the highest assists with 18. Wesley Fofana with the best pass completion, 97. And most player of the match awards is Kumbulla as well with 6. When we look at the team stats, goals scored then, 78. That was the second best. Goals conceded was 28, that was the 3rd best. Yellow cards, 68 this season, and 3 red cards. We are a physical side, unfortunately. You know, get red cards season after season. So it's looking good. Let's just have a quick look at the schedule just to see how it looked going through for form. There's quite a few defeats at the start of the season, but like I say, we were down as low as 6th place in the middle of October, but then form looks like it's picked up. We had a very good January. We started off with a 2-0 loss to Verona, but after that we looked very good. A 1-0 victory in extra time over Milan in a Super Cup final there as well. A 3-0 defeat to Juve, not ideal, but then obviously we come up against Manchester United where we lose 3-1 on aggregate. We got beat 2-0 at Old Trafford. Bruno Fernandes and Rashford's with goals there. But yeah, then form carries on and that wins us the league. So there we go then, guys. We're in a very good place and we've got money to spend. We've got one more season. You know, I'd like a European trophy. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to move on through the summer transfer window, get to the start of Season 5. Hopefully I've strengthened a bit more. Karikaburu has really impressed us in fairness. We just need to work out what we're going to do with Belotti. So yes, we'll get looking. I'll get scouting and then you'll join me at the start of Season 5. Right then, guys, this is it. Last season with Roma. As our transfer has been mixed, I'm going to be completely honest. As we've got £11 million in the bank. We didn't really need to strengthen, so I haven't gone all out to bring loads of players in. We spent our money wisely, I'd say. We've spent quite a bit. Obviously, you can see by the transfer budget there. We've taken off, what, 65 million, but wage budget, we're just underneath it as well, so we've maxed out the wage budget. We've got 210 million in the overall balance, so financially, as long as you don't go P-Tong this season, then we'll be alright. When we're looking at the transfers, there was some absolute drama as Kumbulla left on a free transfer. Didn't want to renew his contract with us, was probably one of the best players at the club. We got on for 20 million. I think that was like my third season in, but that was already a pre-arranged deal. But yeah, he's gone on a free transfer. Was the best player at the club last season as well, but we ended up letting him go on a free. And Enrico Del Prato has literally just left us. He was an all-round player that I brought in for £500,000 and we've sold him on for 10 million. He played 6 games last season, 6.67 rating, not great. But yeah, Cornwall coming with a 10 million rating and off he went. So coming in then is one of the youngsters, Nelio Jose. Now, he probably won't feature too much. He's obviously a wonder kid. He's an absolutely incredible player. Valued at 35 million already, and we got him for 17 million. Now, with all of my rebuilds, I don't like using the new gens regens, but obviously we needed to bring some players in to build for the future. Although this is our last season, I wanted to leave the club in the best possible place. So we've brought Nelio Jose in. And then we spent £60 million on Roman Yevgenev. I'm going to say that's how you pronounce it. I think I absolutely nailed that. As yes, we bought him from Hertha Berlin for £60 million. Hertha, a good bit of business there for them when they paid £24 million. Now, heading, mark and tackling. Quality, strength, good. His mentals and physicals are decent. Yes, I'm not overly bothered about his finishing, his crossing and his dribbling. Not worried about that, as I just want some solidity at the back, especially with Kumbulla going. So, current abilities 3.5 stars. He's playing to his full potential in that respect. An elite centre-back, 26-year-old Russian, 38 caps already. Squad dynamics wise then, team cohesion's good, club atmosphere is average and managerial support's very good. I've got plenty of players that are unhappy. They all want stupid contracts, like Locatelli and stuff wants like 200k a week. Zaniolo wants 350k a week. So we have got some problems there, but we can sort that out at the end of next season. They've all still got decent time on the contracts. As when we look at the players and supporters, now I've now got 12. I've got 11 players that have no real opinion of us, but still I've got no players that oppose us. Squad depth wise, we're still in a very good place. We're light out on that right hand side with Karsdorp and Spinazzola out there, but you know, it's not done us any harm so far, so we'll just carry on with that. And then looking at the season preview, then we're expected to finish in 4th place again. That was expected last season, we ended up finishing 1st, so I'm not overly worried about that prediction. As we have got 2 players in the Media Dream 11, so Nelio Jose, who we've just brought in, and Kluivert are both in there. There's plenty of players though in there from Inter. Basically the spine of the Media Dream 11, looking at it there, is from Inter Milan. And then lastly, schedule, we start off with games against Parma, Cagliari, Verona, Lazio and Genoa. Great start, we'll take that. As last season, we had an absolutely calamity. Like I didn't mention our performance in the Champions League. It was shocking. We went out in 3rd place in the group stage and ended up in the Europa League. Obviously, that's where we went out to Manchester United. So I expect better, certainly expect better in the Champions League this season. Are we going to conquer Europe in this last season? I don't know, but I think it's now time to simulate forward for our final season for 12 months. 1, for a much better performance in the Champions League, and 2, to see if we can finally retain the league title. Right then guys, so we're back at the end of Season 5 and as you can see we've retained the league title, 85 points on the board. We've pipped Juve to it again. In fairness, Juve have been either unlucky or they just cannot cope with the pressure as they finish a point behind us again. Their form was the same as ours actually in the run-in. as we lost one and draw one out of our final 5 games, and so did they. Milan finished in 3rd place on 74 points. So we played 38 games, won 26, drew 7, lost 5. Goals, we scored 87, which looks like it's the highest, and we conceded 39. Milan, though, only conceded 22 goals all season. We had a goal difference of plus 48, which looks like it was the best as well, with Inter having a 46 goal difference. Looking at competitions then, we went out in the semi-final of the Champions League against Manchester City, so we didn't get any European glory. We've had a couple of semi-finals, I think, in the Champions League and a final in the Europa League, which we lost. We also lost in the Italian Cup. We were knocked out by Sassuolo in the first round, but we did win the Italian Super Cup, so I'll take that. Finances wise then, we finished with an overall balance of 245 million, 86 million the transfer budget for this coming season, and we were 300k under the wage budget. So we've left them in a really good place. When we look at the projection, as far as losses go, expenditure's going to rise, but that's all going to come down to the transfer budget. £113 million there is our expected transfer budget in the next couple of seasons. Squad dynamics, everybody wants to leave. They all want new contracts. They all want to leave the clubs. For me, a lot of those players can go now. Cristante's been with us. He's 31 now. I'd probably look at moving him on. Pellegrini now 29, so I'd probably keep him for another couple of seasons. Belotti wants to start more games. I'll tell you, wants a better contract. These deals we'd sort out anyway. Top influencers then, have you got any players that oppose us? No, we've got 14 players that support us. My team leaders all support us, so that's always a winner. And then looking at the player stats then, Karikaburu, 23 goals, top goal scorer for us again. Highest average rating was Thomas Lamar. Most assists was Lamar. Best pass completion for Fana with a 96%. Most player of the match awards goes to Lamar, who had 6. Team stats wise then, we scored 87 goals, which was the best, but goals conceded 39. 5th best, that's poor. Yellow cards, 3rd best. And we got no red cards our first season without any red cards. And then finally, let's just have a look at my milestone. So there we go then. We took over the job in 2021. We didn't win anything in our first season, but then we won the Serie A in our second season. That was a shock in itself. Season after that, our 3rd season, we had a domestic cup double there with the Italian Cup and the Italian Super Cup. We then got a treble in 2025, the Serie A, the Italian Super Cup and the Italian Cup. And then we've just done it back to back. So we've had a very good campaign, I would say, here. It's been a decent rebuild. Yes, we didn't conquer Europe. We've been close. Like I say, we had a Europa League final. We've got to 2 semi-finals in the Champions League. We did have a catastrophe the season before where we went out in the group stage and then got battered by United at Old Trafford. But overall, I'd say we've left the club in a very good place. Financially, we're great. League position, great. We've got some good youngsters in, like I say, Karikaburu. Very, very good. He's an incredible player. I might look at him in other rebuilds that we do because he's not a player I've ever heard of. Star-wise, doesn't stand out, but goals, very, very good. So there we go then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, every video, if you have liked this video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. That would mean a lot. And thank you for your continued support. So yes, I'll see you shortly in another rebuild. Stay safe, and I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.